What is up, chefs, foodies, students? Welcome to Everybody Knows. I'm Anders. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get started. Today we are talking about the main category of meaty in the aroma wheel, and this includes aromas that come from animals that live in land-based ecosystems. Land or air-based life carries a distinct kind of odor that suggests it feeds on land plants or soil-based compounds. Some of the aromas come from vertebrates like mammals, reptiles, or birds, while other aromas come from invertebrates like arachnids and insects. So this land flavor that we smell comes from the ecosystems that support these creatures. So if you think about the soil and microbes and decomposers, and then your producers and your primary and secondary consumers, eventually you have your carnivores or your top of the food chain creatures, and all of these aromas are consumed and affect the aroma of the animal that's consuming any of those land-based organisms. And as we know how obvious the marine quality is for things that are from the ocean, this land-based quality is as obvious. That's as if you think of it as like a non-marine quality. If you think of it kind of in reverse, it's like, oh, these things did not come from the ocean, they came from land. Other common descriptors of meaty might be words like rich or smoky or salty, even though we know that salty is a taste, not a smell. And or sulfurous or roasty or gamey. So any of those words could also work to sort of describe this category. Let's take a look at the aroma wheel. So if we have a look at our universal aroma wheel, we can see that the category of meaty lies right here in between earthy and marine. And if we look closer into this category, we see that it is organized largely by type of animal. So we see this area that says terrestrial animals, and so that's looking at animals that actually walk the earth that are largely mammals. And so we can see there are a whole variety of things. Kind of every section of the mammal family is represented at some point. And if you think about humans across the globe, at some point someone has tried to eat that animal, right? Sometimes only once, and the village learns from that. But then we also have our birds and fowl, we have amphibians and reptiles, and then insects and arachnids, which seems to be a pretty good transition into crustaceans, since things with exoskeletons can share a lot of traits, and I think there's enough aroma overlap there to validate that border. And then for meaty and earthy, we have this border of kind of our uncooked meat into our cooked meat, because we start to get those earthy aromas as we brown meat when we cook it. And so that's the category. And when you look at the specific identifiers, you can see that we have a variety of animals represented here. Most are commonly known, some of them are a bit outside of the North American sphere. And then we have some areas like organ meat to sort of describe that hearts, livers, kidneys sort of tend to taste the same across a variety of animals. There's a definite aroma type there. And then we have our birds, so all the different species that we typically eat, and into some of the more specifics around these other categories, such as the amphibians, reptiles, and the invertebrates. An example of this category, this is the only meat I have right now in my house. I don't eat too much meat, but I have some duck liver pate that I made from a recent harvest we made of some of our ducks. Ooh, you gotta smell that. So that's that organ meat smell. It's like very kind of almost like irony, kind of hard to mistake, but also delicious. Something to note is that this category is based on a whole kingdom of life, unlike the other categories. So that's interesting. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about this category and the word meaty as you cook or as you eat. And I want you to think about these aromas. Do you like them? Why or why not? Are there specific memories or thoughts that you have about these aromas that come to mind for you? And do you agree or disagree with everything that I have said, looking at the wheel and talking about this category? I would love to know. I thrive on your feedback. Please feel free to comment any of those answers down below. I will read them. And I hope this video made sense and got you thinking about the meaty family of food aromas. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to join the food aroma nerdery, feel free to subscribe and you'll see all my latest vids. And if you would like a large poster or a digital copy of this aroma wheel that I have created, there will be links in the description. Thank you so much.